From the SABC's Auckland Park studios, good evening and welcome to this week's episode of the Battlegrounds 2016 election debates, brought to you by SABC News. Well, the focus for this evening, the city of Johannesburg. And to debate the issues here, I am joined by a panel of four, starting with the current mayor of the city of Johannesburg, representing tonight the ANC, Mr. Parkstow. Welcome, sir, and thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you very much and good day.
Next to him is the DA's mayoral candidate, the man hoping to take over the running of the city from the man next to him, and that's Mr. Herman Mashaba. Welcome to you too, sir.
Thank you very much. Great opportunity.
And on this side, we have Mr. Alko Ngobese, representing the Inkatha Freedom Party. Welcome to you too, sir.
Nice to have us.
Last but not least, and representing the EFF is the party's deputy president, Mr. Floyd Shibambu. Welcome to you too, sir.
Thank you very much for having us as the government in waiting here in Johannesburg.
Well, let's start with you,
Yes.
Mr. Shibambu. Your party, how confident are you that you're going to take over the city? What are you putting on the table?
Let's start by stating the obvious that in 2011, the ANC got 63% of the vote here in Johannesburg. In 2014, just less than a year after the EFF was formed, the ANC got 53% and the EFF got more than 10% of the vote of Johannesburg. In less than a year of existence already, where they made serious inroads here in Johannesburg because we are a force to be reckoned with. And you must remember then, we did not have branches, we did not have party agents. They stole our votes in Alexander and other parts of Johannesburg. Now we're back, we're ready. We're ready to take over this municipality. We're going to govern here in Johannesburg. We're going to take over the city. So Parks is the outgoing mayor of Johannesburg. We're going to employ him like we employed the rest of them. We're going to give him an administrative job because he will never be a mayor. We're going to take over this municipality, turn it into a special economic zone, and make sure that it creates jobs for people, because cities must create jobs, and that is exactly what we're going to do when we take over.
Thank you very much. Mr. Ngobese, you have a minute.
Well, with an IFP, we are very clear that we want to register growth. The IFP is going to register growth in Gauteng. As you can see already, when we check the surveys, there is no party which is going to win the upcoming election with an outright majority. Obviously, some parties may think that IFP is not important, but come 4 August, they will see the importance of the IFP in Gauteng.
Thank you very much. The Democratic Alliance, Mr. Mashaba, you have a minute for your opening remarks.
Well, I think if you look at the Democratic Alliance, we're the only party that's going to really effect change in the city. And we're going to bring change in this city by focusing on 3 most important things. The first one really being job creation. We sit in a city. 870,000 of our people are unemployed. So job creation is going to really be our #1 priority. Secondly, we're going to focus on fighting corruption. Corruption under our administration is going to be declared public enemy #1. Lastly, service delivery. Our people in our communities are looking for services. They're looking for water, electricity, and basic things. So what we believe as a party, these 3 things are going to really be the key component of our administration.
Mr. Saul, ANC.
Well, thank you very much. The city of Johannesburg is the leading city in terms of investment in infrastructure throughout the Republic. The city of Johannesburg is implementing a program of spatial transformation. We're not just building houses, we're actually We are actually building opportunities. We're actually building houses where people are closer to opportunities. These are in townships such as Flero, such as South Hills, in areas such as Patterson Park. We bring the people historically disadvantaged closer to where the opportunities are. The city of Johannesburg is continuing to build an inclusive city. Our bus rapid transit system is one that is managed and implemented by the taxi industry. So when we talk broad-based black economic empowerment, it is actually there. You can see it in the BRT. It is actually going directly to the township for the people of the city.
Thank you very much. Well, two of our panelists are mentioning jobs as a priority for you. Tell us how you're going to create employment and whether, in fact, local government is there to create jobs in the first instance.
Do you know the biggest crisis with the current model and mode of local government in South Africa is that it is inherently not labor absorptive. What the city does, if they've got 100 million rands to build a road, they go and hire a consultant to tell them how that road must be built. And then they pay that consultant the money, and then they go and hire a tenderpreneur to build that road. That tenderpreneur must make profit. That tenderpreneur will employ skilled labor on a temporary basis. The EFF is going to abolish those tenders and directly deliver services. And in that way, we're going to give jobs to our people. But also because Johannesburg is a city, what we're going to do is that we're going to make it the whole of Johannesburg a special economic zone with serious incentives for the industrial investors who are going to create as many jobs as possible. Currently, Johannesburg is just a dumping site of finished goods and services. So what we're going to do, we're going to make Johannesburg an industrial base that is going to produce goods and services. As a matter of fact, a lot of jobs have been lost in Johannesburg. The number of income earners has radically declined under Pakistan's mayorship. That is why he must go.
How is your party going to create jobs? You're saying jobs are a priority for you, but how do you plan to create those jobs?
You know, for us as a DA, we recognize the only way you can create jobs are not going to be created by government. Jobs are not going to be created short-term to medium-term. Jobs are not going to be created by big business. So for us, the focus is going to be on small businesses. And how we will drive that process is to ensure that, starting with government, most of our tenders in government, we must cut them into small pieces so that we can give more and more of our small businesses an opportunity to tender for those tenders. And secondly, it's going to really be important for us to make sure that our tender process adjudication is open and open to public scrutiny. In fact, we will even add on to the openness of our tender process. Make sure that we get one of our competitors to be the one chairing our tender process, so that these tenders are open to the public.
Thank you very much. Well, we are going to take a quick break. This debate continues on the other side of this.
There is a sign for perfectionism. There's a sign for goosebumps. Something that symbolizes more performance. A sign for a special mindset. There is a sign for everything we stand for. Audi Sport. Born on the track. Built for the road. Join the League of Performance.
Good afternoon, you're with the news at 1.
Welcome to Lunchtime News Amplified.
Selection of political parties by means of a lucky draw has been a common practice for the past 22 years.
We take an in-depth look at top stories of the day and live crossings to our journalists on the scene.
First time in our nation's history that a woman will be a major party's nominee.
business news, sports update, and weather report.
Hello and welcome to News Live. I'm Natasha Thorpe. Good to have you with us.
For all things news, tune in to Midday Report weekdays at 12 noon only on the SABC News channel.
He appealed for the disruptions to come to an end so the future of the children is not compromised.
The union said the latest offer by Eskom will condemn its members to poverty.
Samples from the 2012 London Olympic Games and 2014 Sochi Winter Games will also be retested.
Stay tuned to News Today at 3 p.m. from Monday to Friday on SABC News.
Welcome back, and if you've just joined us, you're watching an election debate brought to you by SABC News, and our focus this evening, the city of Johannesburg. Now, before we went to break, we had started talking about jobs. The two parties, the EFF and the DA, talking about how they hope to create jobs if they were to take over. From your point of view, do cities even have or is it what they need to do to create jobs?
Well, firstly, let me say that Stats South Africa released a report this week that indicated that Johannesburg is the leading city in terms of investment in addressing poverty. And this report continued to say that, in fact, jobs in Johannesburg is one of the most labor-absorptive cities that has doubled the number of jobs available in the market. We are using our own budget through our Josie at Work program to contract community-based contractors and cooperatives that are able to deliver services inside their communities. We're breaking down barriers to entry, in particular for our young people, through our Electoral program that's considered to be the leading youth development policy developed internationally alongside that of Toronto.
IFP?
You see, within IFP, we have made job creation as a priority, especially for the young people. One is that there must be enough colleges to train people to have necessary skills that is needed in this country. Two, we must make sure that people who are employed because of their capabilities, not the cadre deployment that we're seeing today by the ANC. There are so many young people, especially young people who are unemployed today. People have graduated from various institutions, but they cannot access job because they do not affiliate to the ruling party. And it's unfortunate. The IFP is saying stop the cadre deployment. Deploy people because they are capable to do what is necessary in terms of job creation.
Very briefly, I'm going to ask each one of you. I'm going to give you 30 seconds each to tell us what stands in the way of creating jobs in Johannesburg, Mr. Mashal.
I think, the biggest hurdle to job creation in this country, it's corruption. Corruption happening under the leadership of Mr. Pakstown. I think you really look at what is happening in this city. I compare it with Cape Town. I was just looking at figures the other day. Cape Town spending 71 million rand on helping the youth to find employment, whereas the city of Johannesburg at the same time only spending 21 million rand. So that shows to us that I think it looks like under Mr. Pakstown's administration, job creation is not a priority.
Let's cut down quickly. 30 seconds. What stands in the way of you creating more jobs?
Well, firstly, Cape Town sends back money to national government of not spending it in infrastructure. But I'm not talking about Cape Town. I'm talking about the city of Johannesburg. I'm saying that jobs in the city of Johannesburg have doubled over a period of 10 years. Johannesburg attracts 10,000 people every month that are coming to this city in search of opportunities. And what do we do to break down barriers to entry for our people? We've got, as I said, the Josie at Work program that's contracting with communities directly. We've got the Village program that trains young people. We're using our libraries as platforms for university education through the infrastructure that we've built in the city of Joburg.
We have to deal with factual issues first.
Fact number one is that what Pax is saying about jobs is not true. Stats SA has just released the labor force survey now. The quarterly labor survey, and it has released something called the income and poverty dynamics in South Africa. And a stark illustration there is that Johannesburg is losing jobs. That is number one, it's a fact. And number two is that the number of income generators in Johannesburg has radically declined. Which jobs are you creating when the numbers are there? That shows that there's no job that is being created. Don't imagine things. Don't read Stats SA with one eye and come and lie here. You're lying. There's no job being created here. The number of unemployed people in Johannesburg is worsening. And why do you lie here? Johannesburg is not a productive city because of you. You focus on financial services only and other issues. You're not focusing on the manufacturing sector, which must create jobs for people. So you must not mislead South Africa, please.
What stands in the way of creating jobs in Johannesburg?
What stands in the way of creating jobs? Number one, we know that there is a lot of corruption. The corruption is one cancer that is eating the jobs in this country, for instance. Two, we must make sure that we get the right people to do the right jobs. For instance, if you look at the municipality, even the city of Johannesburg, there are no engineers. We employ 20 people. You employ 22 people to do a job of one person. So it is important that when the city of Johannesburg create an environment where investors, they would feel they are ready to invest in the city of Johannesburg.
Okay. Time to take another quick break. Do remember that you can, of course, engage with us by the hashtags. One is election debate, hashtag election debate. The other hashtag is elections on SABC. But you can also go to our website, www.elections.sabc.co.za. Time to take another quick break. This debate continues.
Certain choices in life lead us not to our destination. Prostitution will not.
Everything that I used to do then, it was something that I never thought of, I never dreamed of.
One bad choice in life led her to another.
Most of my clients, they used to ask me a question, what am I doing in that industry? Because it does not suit me at all.
Her demons haunted her until she changed her life.
I used to pray that, Lord, if you can deliver me from these drugs, I promise you that I will serve you for the rest of my life.
She has since found peace and is serving her community.
We'll try by all means to spend time with all of our kids.
Join your host, Buleng Mulabati, every Friday at 17:30.
Why are electoral systems important in a democracy?
We think of democracy as voting people into office. The other side of the coin is that we would be more empowered and more accountable in politics if we could do the opposite, is vote them out when they don't deliver.
Politics is about who gets what, when and how.
If you look up on the internet as to how the head of state is chosen, it says monarchy.
We should not refer to an election as a contest.
So we should not shy away from the fact that an election is a contest. Of course, I do admit that it's not a bloody contest, or it shouldn't be a bloody contest.
It shouldn't be a bloody
people,
contest.
Fight and, of course, and
it should also not be a beauty contest.
Then it shouldn't be also a beauty contest either.
Swiss people, for example, can travel internationally with a cantonal passport, not even a national one. That's like us traveling on a Free State passport, for example.
There are difference between a Ponzi, a pyramid scheme, and a stokvel, or this particular one, which the representative called an alternative financial system.
It's got its own currency. It's got its own banking system.
How do you even trace? The minute there's no track record, the minute there's no banking transactions, it means that we are talking about something that is floating in the air.
It's a system of mutual donation exchange.
30% return on investment, Clive. Is that even a reality here in South Africa? Are they perhaps blessers in disguise?
I'm not going to mention anything about blessings.
Welcome back. You're watching the Sunday Live Battlegrounds 2016 election debate brought to you by SABC News. And our focus this evening, the battle for the city of Johannesburg. Mr. Tau, all of them are mentioning corruption as a big obstacle to the growth and development of this city. Is it an issue for you?
Let me start by saying that the city manager of Johannesburg is an engineer. The MD of Joburg also is an engineer. The MD of City Power is an engineer. So I'm not sure where the notion that there are no engineers and competent people is coming from in Johannesburg. Corruption is indeed a critical issue. In the city of Johannesburg, we've created an office of an ombudsman. We have an integrity commissioner. We subject all our major tenders and contracts to a probity review directly by the city of Johannesburg. So we have ensured that we take action. We've got more than 200 officials who've been arrested and dismissed in the city of Johannesburg for engaging in corruption. We are actually very serious about dealing with it. We have also established an independent hotline, which independent hotline is actually manned and managed by an independent audit firm to deal with corruption. So we're very proactive in the city of Johannesburg.
Let's deal with corruption. Bring it on. The Auditor General just released the report. Last financial year, this administration wasted 4.2 billion rands in unauthorized, irregular, wasteful expenditure. 4.2 billion rands. And the Auditor General requested his administration to investigate this because he suspects there are issues that need to be investigated. And every day, we request Mr. Dawi and his administration to really give us a report. You can imagine 4.2 billion rands of opportunities. 4.2 billion rands of money that should have been used to provide employment to our people.
Let's deal with that. Let's deal with corruption. There's no number that says that. The recently released audited report actually releases numbers for auditor. Where does it get the numbers from?
From the Auditor General report. 4.2 billion.
We released our annual financial statements and they don't say that. Well, Mr. Masaba is actually misrepresenting the report.
Let's deal with corruption. Parks is the last person to speak about corruption. One, we represent a political party that is led by a corrupt individual, Jacob Zuma. It's about to pay 7.8 million now because of the efforts of the EFF. If it was not because of the EFF, the corruption of Nkandla could have continued. But also, what happens here in Johannesburg, it's a matter of fact that his wife, Parks, has benefited from the city of Johannesburg. How do you call that? He does business outside through his wife, and then they do business with the city of Johannesburg. That is corruption. But the biggest corruption is to take money of the city to go and build bicycle lanes when there's still Straighter, when there's still Tembelite, when there's still Kliptown, when there's still Freedom Park, when there's still Elas Mufaledi, when there's no houses, there's no water, there's nothing that is happening there. And this guy can't speak about corruption because he knows nothing about that. He's not making any corruption. Even this ombudsman is talking about is not there.
You know, when allegations were made, I wrote myself to the public protector and to the integrity commissioner, and that matter was clear. So in fact, the report is talking about, it's my report, my request to the public protector and the integrity commissioner to investigate, and that matter was dealt with. So for Floyd to make allegations that were processed and dealt with is quite unfortunate. The second thing is that we're building a city for everybody. We're building an inclusive city. We're building a city that is accessible for the pedestrian. It must be accessible for the cyclist. It must be accessible for public transport. It must be accessible for the car. That is what inclusive cities are about.
The issue of corruption is a serious one in the city of Johannesburg. And I'm surprised why the mayor is denying it, because the corruption is taking place in the city of Johannesburg. The money that is supposed to go out and deliver services to the communities there are going to the individuals. We all know that. He's talking about the reports that have been released recently, but why all of a sudden the report is coming through? Why wait till the end of the year, of the term, before the report is released? Why do you want to wait for that?
Well, firstly, I can say that I've just said to you, we've arrested and dismissed more than 200 people in the city of Johannesburg. That's action that's taken by the city of Johannesburg. Secondly, I've said to you that we've established an independent hotline to deal with this matter. Thirdly, I've said to you that we have, in fact, as the city of Johannesburg, dismissed a councillor who's dealt with allegations of corruption. And that was a member of the ANC. Because we have an integrity commissioner, we have an ethics committee, we're taking proactive action. We don't hide anything that is dealt with in the city of Johannesburg.
Well, hot in here. We are going to take another quick ad break. This debate, of course, continues when we come back.
Good afternoon, you're with the news at 1.
Welcome to Lunchtime News Amplified.
Selection of political parties by means of a lucky draw has been a common practice for the past 22 years.
We take an in-depth look at top stories of the day and live crossings to our journalists on the scene.
First time in our nation's history that a woman will be a major party's nominee.
Business news, sports update, and weather report.
Hello and welcome to News Live. I'm Natasha Thorpe. Good to have you with us.
For all things news, tune in to Midday Report, weekdays at 12 noon, only on the SABC News channel.
Innovators all over Africa are using technology to solve the continent's problems.
We looked at all the different startup accelerators, and Hack Josie was born.
And governments are finding new ways to improve the lives of citizens.
We anticipate it will be in a position to handle a capacity of 20,000 logs per second.
On Network, we tell you about Africa's technology and social media scene. That's Network with Ms. Pumela Zondi every Sunday at 7:30 p.m. Central African Time.
The cotton field story is being told through patchwork by artists to celebrate the diaspora in America.
Vitally important in telling the stories of what is happening in the refugee crisis, with migration, with questions of immigration, and I believe I, as an artist, have a moral obligation to tell these stories.
It's through paper, brush, and paint that the different faces of women are reflected by this prolific painter.
Women face a lot of challenges, discrimination, sexism, and a lot of other negative. In my paintings, I try to send a different message.
Place of the G-Men and Father Huddleston's mission. Place of Balanski's and the Odin Cinema, and let's never forget.
Join Refilwe for that 1 hour weekly dose of arts and entertainment news every Saturday at 12.
Welcome back. You're watching the Sunday Live Battlegrounds 2016 debate brought to you by SABC News. And tonight we are talking about the city of Johannesburg. Let's take some questions and comments from our studio audience. Let's start with the EFF.
It is a fact that come the 4th of August, the EFF will be at the helm of the city. I want the Deputy President, Commissar Floyd Shivambu, to enlighten further the South African public as to how EFF is going to create sustainable jobs and service delivery to our downtrodden people.
You have a minute, Mr. Shivambu.
Like anywhere in the world, the biggest employer is the industries, the manufacturing sector. As a matter of fact, in the whole of South Africa, particularly in Johannesburg, manufacturing has been in radical decline because of the neoliberal discourse that say that we must open our markets that simply. The priority of the EFF, the reason we speak about jobs, is because we're going to reignite the industrial base, the manufacturing sector, and give jobs to our people. And that is added to the jobs that I spoke about earlier, that are going to be given directly by the delivery of services directly outside of consultants and tenders. So at the center of our program is to reignite the economy, to support the local economic development initiatives that are engaged by ordinary people on the street. The relationship of the street traders in Johannesburg and the city now is the police. Every day they go and harass them. They do not do anything for them. They do not support them. The EFF is going to create jobs in the informal sector. It's going to create industrial jobs in the manufacturing sector. And the state is going to absorb as many people as possible.
IFP?
I want to pose my question to Alco Ngobese. Alco, it seems as if under the current leadership or the current government have failed in the past 22 years. And if you look at the EFF, you can't trust them because they are new on the field. But can you please tell us, now people have to trust the IFP. Why do they supposed to trust the IFP, all of them?
Mr. Mobasa?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the question, Mr. Skosana. I think the question is very clear. It is why people should trust the IFP instead of other parties. It is true that the ANC has failed the people of South Africa. In fact, the people of South Africa have been very patient with the ruling party. 22 years of democracy, people have not seen change. So what is the IFP bringing is that we are bringing the government that is corrupt-free, that is the government that cares about the people of South Africa.
Thank you very much. Question from the DA.
I have a question for Mr. Mashaba. You mentioned that should you be in power, you're gonna break up monopoly, pick it up monopoly. Now, my question is, why is this necessary, and what's going to happen to all the jobs?
Mr. Mashaba, you have a minute.
I think if you look at Pick It Up, it's really one of the opportunities that I've identified that will help me to create black business in this country. Overnight, 7 of them. Our city, as we speak, it's filthy. You have Pick It Up as a monopoly being used by the NC to give the job employment opportunities to their cadres. So there's no reason why we should not break this into 7 pieces, give the opportunities to 7 independent companies to run this operation. And fortunate enough, with this process, not a single member employee of Pick It Up is going to lose their jobs. All the 4,500 employees currently will be absorbed by the winning bidders. In fact, I see an opportunity to add on more jobs, because when we break this monopoly, we collapse this board of cadres, the money and the savings. What we'll do, we will ensure that the winning bidders employ more of our people.
Thank you very much. Question from the ANC.
I have a question for Mayor Tau, who is the mayor and will be the mayor again. We have a youth bulge and a very youthful city, as well as a very youthful country. Can you clarify the dreamers about the plans that the city has and what the city has done for youth in this city?
Well, firstly, let me say before I get to Loiso's question, that it would be interesting if the M1 was to be designed by a person that's not an engineer, like Floyd is suggesting. I mean, certainly it would collapse like a bridge in Limpopo that collapsed. But then let me get to the point about youth development. I said we've got the leading youth development policy, not just in the country, in the world. Our Vulindlela Josi program has partnered with more than 250 companies that create access for young people to job opportunities. Our Vulindlela Josi program engages young people in programs that include, amongst others, our massive open online varsity program, where our libraries have become universities. Our Vulindlela Josi program takes young people from Orange Farm who are currently working at sea, earning in dollars, and these are opportunities directly for young people in Johannesburg. It's not just a plan, it actually is being implemented right now.
Let's clarify something quickly.
Mr. Masaba, what are you going to do for or about young people, mostly many of them who are unemployed in the city? What is the DA putting on the table?
It is for that reason I've always said and maintained that job opportunities in this city are going to be created by small businesses. That's the reason why I said earlier on, I will pick it up, so that I give small businesses an opportunity. But over and above this, all the city tenders are going to be broken up into small pieces, so that we give more and more small players an opportunity to bid for those tenders. But the beauty about our tenders is going to be an open, transparent process where people who are going to win, the winning bidders are not going to win because they are my friends or they voted for the DA. They're going to win on the basis they will provide services to this people.
Let's deal with some
your plan for young people in the city of Johannesburg.
Let's quickly deal with some conceptual issues first. When we speak about changing the mood of governance and how it delivers services, we're not talking about the issues of Limpopo, which you are trying to climb over. Don't be petty. You must rise above. Let's educate you. We're going to employ the best engineers to be the one who are going to be the project managers for the work that we're going to do. Now, two things are essential for young people. One is sports and recreation. Two is education. In terms of sports and recreation, the EFF is going to make sure that there is proper sporting and recreational facilities all over. Go to Alexander. There is my man Alfred Pilgrim's Day. People are playing in dusty streets. One of the biggest tournaments that are handled by one of the people here in Johannesburg. In dusty streets, no support in terms of what should happen on infrastructure. Everywhere else, there's dusty streets all over Johannesburg. The city is not doing anything. The second issue is about education. The EFF is the only party that has made a commitment that when we're talking about the municipality, we're going to have residences and proper learning conditions for all the students that come to our city, because Johannesburg has got the highest number of students in South Africa.
Your plan, IFP's plan for young people?
Our plan is very clear. We must make sure that the young people are skilled and people are employed for the job that are trained for. The issue of cadre deployment is compromising the service delivery which is supposed to go to the communities. We are saying, we have seen so many service delivery protests that are taking place throughout the country. It's not because the money is not there, but it's because the money goes to in the pockets of individuals instead of going to the people.
Very much. Well, time to take another ad break. This debate continues.
Usisiwe Jamsana, SABC News, Alice.
Mzwandi Lembeche, SABC News, Doha, Qatar.
Kunatibingwase, SABC News, Alice.
Diabo Seto, SABC News, Geneva, Switzerland.
Nampumelo Siziba, SABC News, Moscow, Russia.
Sherwin Bryce-Pease, SABC News, New York.
Craig Murray, SABC News, Stellenbosch.
We bring the news back home. We keep the nation fully informed.
What's wrong with Triple M? What is illegal here? Who is being defrauded here, Trevor?
It is about the best interest of the citizens of this country.
But the citizens are the ones who are playing, who are members or participants in this. If you put in 15,000 rand, after 12 months you get 1.2 million rands. I mean, who wouldn't go for this?
Watch Question Time with me, Mpho Tsedu, Monday to Thursday at 5:30 p.m. on the SABC News channel.
Welcome back. You're watching the Sunday Live Battlegrounds 2016 election debate brought to you by SABC News. And our focus this evening, the battle for the city of Johannesburg. Well, let's just look at how things are at the moment. This is 2014, of course, the national and provincial election here in the city. This is how people voted. The ANC got 52.2% of the vote, the DA 32.3%, the EFF 10.1%, the IFP 1.8%. Of course, in 2011, before the last round of elections here in the city, this is how people voted. You'll recall that, of course, the EFF was not part of that election, but the ANC got 153 seats, the DA 90 seats, the IFP got 4. Let me start with the IFP. How do you move from this situation to taking over the city?
Well, you will remember in my opening remarks that I said the IFP want to register growth in Gauteng. One is that we feel this time we are better prepared than before. We've got structures in place, structures like branches all over Gauteng. We have more volunteers this time who are doing door-to-doors and other stuff. So we think we are in a better position to make sure that we do register a growth in the city of Johannesburg.
What stopped you from doing that previously?
Well, there are a number of issues. One, you will realize that there were a lot of intimidation, especially for our comrades campaigning in certain areas.
By who?
By the ruling party. By the ruling party. You know, what is the EFF is experiencing today of intimidation, IFP is used to that because we have experienced a number of intimidation by the ruling party. But this time we have employed more resources, we have more volunteers that are doing grass work on the ground.
Thanks very much. 10.1 in 2014, Mr. Shibam, how do you jump from there to taking over?
Look at the beauty of those numbers. I mean, 10% in 8 months of existence. 10% in 8 months of existence. Without branches, without resources, without anything. We're back now. We're going to remove that ANC. It's going to fall after elections because we're the fastest growing party in South Africa. We're ready now. They will not do what they did in Alexander. We're ready for anything. I can tell you that the ANC is sinking. It shows in all the numbers. There is evidence that it's sinking. It's going to fall. The people were voting for the DA because there was no option before. The EFF is here. It's going to represent the people of Johannesburg.
Where do you think they are most vulnerable? Where do you think the ANC is most vulnerable?
The ANC is declining. They have run out of ideas. They can't come with solutions anymore. They repeat the same things.
They said in 2004 that poverty and unemployment will be halved by 2014. It's late now. Poverty is deepening. Unemployment is deepening. They say they're going to eradicate all informal settlements. What are they doing? In Straitla, the ANC is distributing sheds there. What kind of a government is that distributes sheds to the people? They put electricity, tomorrow they come and demolish all those things that they said are going to be electrified. So the EFF is the relevant party for the people of Johannesburg.
Mr. Mashaba, 32.37% of the vote is what you got in 2014 in the city of Johannesburg. How do you jump from there to taking over?
Well, I think we're really seeing history in the making. If you really look at the DA over the last 22 years, we're the only political party that has consistently grown. And I'm sure all of us as South Africans, we've just seen the latest Ipsos polls. We are already ahead of the ANC. And you look at that trend on a week by week, it's growing. Personally, I've been on the campaign trail for the last 6 months, and people on the ground are saying to me, DA, we're going to give you our vote on the 3rd of August. Because people in the past didn't vote for the ANC because they were stupid. They voted for the ANC in the past because they trusted them. But unfortunately, ANC has abused that power, that privilege. And people of Johannesburg are saying, DA, come the 3rd of August, you're going to be the government of the city.
Does the growth of these guys, the EFF, threaten you in any way?
I think if I look at EFF can only get votes from ANC. They'll never get a single vote from us.
Why? Why not?
The reason why EFF will never get a single vote from us, because we are the party that goes around promising everything to everyone. We promise things that are realistic, things that we can deliver. So, fortunate enough, EFF is not a threat to us. They can only take votes from the ANC.
Mayor, help you. In 2000, the ANC got 58.9% of the vote. 2006, you got 62.29%. That went down in 2011 to 52.2%. What went wrong?
Well, firstly, we've experienced in the past one-time parties that emerge out of the ANC making a dent only to bounce back as the African National Congress and increase our numbers after that. So we're confident of maintaining and leading the city of Johannesburg and of a decisive victory in the city of Johannesburg. We continue to work with the people and partner with the people of this city in the development of this city. Our delivery, our track record in the city of Johannesburg speaks for itself. With a leading city in terms of investment in infrastructure, we have innovative programs. We are the first city in the world to list a green bond internationally on a stock exchange. We are a city that continues to raise money in the debt capital market. We have just raised 1.4 billion rands from a bond in the city of Johannesburg to continue delivering to the people of the city. So on the basis of the work that we have done in the city of Johannesburg, we're confident of a decisive victory for the African National Congress.
Gentlemen, we have run out of time, but I want to ask each one of you to make some concluding remarks. I'm going to give you a minute each to tell us why the people sitting at home belonging to the city of Johannesburg should vote for your respective parties. Let me start with you, Mr. Ngobesa.
Well, it's very clear that a party that has tried and tested is the IFP. The people of South Africa are crying out for a leadership with integrity. Our leader, Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi, is the leader can be trusted by the people of South Africa. You will not find a councillor or a member of any level in the government being corrupt. We lead a clean governance in the IFP. That's why people should trust IFP.
Mr. Shibambu.
No, thank you very much, Vuyo. Look, the EFF is contesting elections not because we want to be a substitute of those that are in power now. we're going to cause a revolution at the local state. We're going to change the manner in which it operates. We're going to make sure that instead of relying on consultants and entrepreneurs to deliver services, the EFF is going to build capable state capacity, employ the best men and women from whichever political party to deliver services to our people. We are the only hope that can speak clearly about jobs, because we understand that for you to create jobs, you must take charge of the economy, you must take the land, you must take the mines, you must make sure that all of those things are locally beneficiated and industrialized to cause jobs for our people. The ANC says this money fails. South Africa must give us a chance. We're the last hope that is going to give jobs to our people. And Johannesburg is a battleground. It's a theater upon which we're going to show the whole world that an EFF revolutionary government is going to better their lives. That is how we're going to move.
Mr. Tau?
We're a city that is leading in terms of development. You know, when the country was experiencing challenges with regards to the possibility of a downgrade, the city of Johannesburg received an upgrade from both Fitch and Moody's. We've just received a 4-notch upgrade from Moody's, indicative of the confidence of the city as an investment destination. This enables us to raise resources in the debt capital market to be able to invest in the infrastructure of the city. We're a city that has demonstrated its ability and capability to innovate. We've got innovative instruments such as the Blue Economy Initiative that we have in the city of Johannesburg. We've got a bus rapid transit system that runs between the inner city and Soweto. And next year we'll be going to Alexandra and Sandton, where people will be able to access opportunities.
I'm asking people of Johannesburg, give us an opportunity on the 3rd of August. Because us as a DA, with a party that's going to do 3 important things. Firstly, we're going to make sure that we create jobs working with the private sector, particularly small businesses. Secondly, with a party that is going to halt corruption and wasteful expenditure that we see happening currently under the ANC government. Thirdly, we're going to prioritize service delivery, and that service delivery is going to be focused mainly in our informal settlements and the poor areas. Our commitment to people of Johannesburg, when I take over as the mayor, 60% of our budget on service delivery will go into those areas to make sure that we go out and give dignity to our settlements and our people out there.
If I may ask, what will stand in the way of you attaining the majority that you so desire?
Theo, if I really look at the current polls, I really look at people on the ground that I interact with, I still have another 4 weeks. We're confident people out in Johannesburg are going to give us an outright majority.
Mr. Tau, what will stand in the way of the ANC returning
We are very confident of it. We are interacting with the people of Johannesburg on the basis of our own track record. The report we're giving to the people of Johannesburg is credible. They can see the delivery program, whether it's in the highways, whether it's in Tembelishe, where we're innovating in terms of electricity distribution, whether in terms of the housing developments in Clearoff, Patterson Park, whether it's in terms of the infrastructure investments in Orange Farm. The city of Johannesburg is delivering for its people, consistent with our mandate to create a better South Africa, in terms of our mandate to transform our city into a world-class African city.
And nothing will stand in your way.
We're very confident nothing will stand in your way.
What will stand in the way of the IFP attaining the goals that you've set for yourselves in this election?
Sorry, what is?
What will stand in the way of the IFP attaining the goals that you've set for yourselves in this election?
Well, you must remember that we are contesting an election where the playing field is not level. Those who have more resources will always have an advantage towards the small parties that are still struggling with the resources. But we feel that this time we have more volunteers and we have more structures. We are going to make sure that we run with the elections with more structures in place. Therefore, the results will be better.
Mr. Swambo, and is there anything that's going to stand in your way?
There's nothing that is going to stand in the way of the EFF. Absolutely nothing. We represent a generation that has set its mission and is going to fulfill that mission. We do not speak about infrastructure that goes above people's heads and underneath them and not change their lives. When we speak about infrastructure development, it's infrastructure development that must give people jobs. Parks always speaks about financial issues, which are of course important, but how many lives have you changed? How many jobs have you created in Johannesburg? What have you done for the people who are staying in Alexander, in Strata? You're giving them shacks. The EFF is here for the ordinary people. So South Africa must trust us with the vote and will show that our plan, our program is the most cogent, is the most workable plan that is going to bring back industry, create jobs for our people, deliver quality services, not the shacks which are being distributed by the ANC government in Strata. There's nothing happening in Tembelihle. The people are staying in sheds there. There's no flushing toilet. Under the AFF, such will be history. The people of Johannesburg will have confidence in what must happen moving forward. So there's nothing that is standing on our way. We're just waiting to the government of Johannesburg and we'll take it forward.
That is where we are going to leave it for this evening. To remember to visit our elections website. It's elections.sabc.co.za. Elections.sabc.co.za. Remember, you can also engage with South Africans talking about this program. The hashtag is hashtag election debate and hashtag elections on SABC. Thank you very much for watching. Do join us again next week, same time, on SABC 1 and the SABC News Channel 404. From me, Vuyo Mvoko, and the rest of the crew, it's a good evening and thank you very much for joining us.